welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new on this channel, welcome. Thank you so much for hopping on. My name is Jess and I post videos every single Monday revolving around health and wellness, but I also want this channel to be a look at my life, and I am gonna get married in just over a week. It is currently Friday. I get married the following Sunday. Crazy. And so I want to give you guys one more wedding video before I do get married. I have two others. If you guys want to check them out, I'll pop them up here. But today, because all the planning is just about done, I want to give you guys my best budget tips. Real quick before we dive into those tips, if you guys haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future videos, and then give this one a thumbs up. It really does support my channel so much, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Okay, without any further ado, let's jump straight into these budget tips, because I know we all want to save money. Weddings are super expensive, so we have to save the money. Just for a little insight too, me and my fiance did have a budget that we were working on the entire wedding. We planned pretty much all of it ourselves. We definitely had help from family and friends. I don't want to take away from that. They have been awesome, but we didn't have a wedding plan or anything like that, and we had a strict budget that we started with at the very beginning that we wanted to fit our entire wedding and our honeymoon in, and we pretty much did it. We are like right at the end, but we made it work. So here are my best tips on how we made that work. All right, jumping right into tip number one, and that is to do it yourself, DIY. Especially with your decor, this can be so helpful and also super fun because you get to kind of like display either your family or friends or your own work at your wedding, which I don't know, I think that's a little bit special. We DIY'd a lot of things. We DIY'd an arc for behind us, a welcome sign. We didn't want a guest book actually, but I did want a guest like frame that people can sign so I could hang it in the house later. And we did table numbers, we did a whole bunch of things, and it was so inexpensive in comparison to purchasing these things. So sites like Etsy make things just like what I created, and people put really hard work into that. I don't want to take away, but the amount you have to pay for materials versus how much they're charging for these items is a big difference. So if you're doing it yourself, you're only paying for those materials. So for instance, for a sign, I bought like some wood stain and then some paint. I think I spent like $10. And I think that same like looking welcome sign that I followed it to create it on Etsy that someone else created was charging for about $40. Say they're $50 a piece and then you want 4 signs, boom, $200. Versus I spent $10 for some materials that I probably could use for about 2 different signs. Maybe I'm spending like $20 to do these signs. So you can save a ton of money if you just do it yourself. You could look up the ways to do it, or if you have questions, seriously ask me. I did multiple of them. I had help from family and friends as well, but I could totally teach you guys how to do that. So tip number one, do it yourself. It makes it really sentimental and also saves you a lot of money. Tip number two is gonna be super general, but it is super helpful, and that is to do your research. And I don't mean just like do a little bit of research. I mean like dive in deep, because when you just look things up, the people that come up are gonna be more popular, and those people are really expensive for all things considered. Catering, DJ, photography, all of that. But if you do your research, you dig, you look on Instagram for up and coming businesses, you look at small towns for catering, you will save so much money. The first people that came up when we looked at DJ were like $3,000. We are not spending nearly $3,000 on our DJ, I will be completely honest. Same thing with photographers. The first ones that come up when you look them up on like websites online are quite expensive, but when you look at new and up and coming photographers that are super talented but just haven't really made a name for themselves on Instagram, and if you're comfortable with that, you can save a lot of money. So dig deep, research, find those people who are so talented but are up and coming and that genuinely love what they do, and they're not gonna upcharge you. It's amazing. Upcharging in weddings is a huge thing, so find those people who really love what they do and care about people first. Tip number 3 is to not say wedding cake when you go look for your cake. And you guys might be laughing at me right now, but I'm so serious. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. Somebody told me this, and then I experienced it and witnessed it, and I was like, no way. The instant you say wedding cake, it gets more expensive. Versus if you're just going to look for a cake, for a get-together, for a gathering, for a party, it's not as expensive. So don't get me wrong, if you want like a really in-depth, like beautiful, like a lot of stuff on your cake, you might need to say wedding cake. But for some people that are maybe like me who didn't care about the cake very much, I kind of wanted like real flowers on it, nothing extreme. I didn't need like a wedding cake. Just say you want a cake for a get-together and it won't be as expensive. unfortunately, people, I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying. Tip number 4 is to get creative and get unique with the gifts that you give your guests. This can save you so much money, and it's also super special and fun. You're giving them something saying thank you from the two of you. If you find something that's kind of like special to the two of you, that's like really sentimental, and it also can save you a lot of money, because if you just order the general like gifts online, they can get super expensive when you buy them in like bulk. I was doing that first. I was doing research on just like buying a bunch of gifts, and it got super expensive. Then we got a little bit more creative. We decided that we want to do homemade cookies and give those out as a thank you. Saved us a ton of money because they were my grandma's recipe and she cooked them, and she's amazing, and I'm so grateful for her. And because she's my grandma, she did not charge me anything to do that, so I'm very grateful for that. But I have also seen other things, like ideas like people who used to work in coffee shops, just get a bunch of coffee beans, put them into cute little bags and have a saying on them. Or people who really like hiking or like to be in the mountains have given out trail mix. You can get super creative, and that makes it super sentimental, but also saves you a lot of money, because those gifts that people pre-create online and sell in bulk, again on things like Amazon or Etsy, are usually a lot more expensive than the materials they used. So if you can use your own materials, you'll save yourself a lot of money. Tip number 5 is going to be save your money with flowers by adding a lot of greenery. Greenery is gorgeous, and it is way less expensive than actual flowers, especially if you can find somebody you know that has greenery trees like eucalyptus or something like that. We looked out that Rodney's family does have that, and that's super duper helpful. But even if they didn't, even if you're working through your florist, if you add a lot of greenery in your bouquets, in garland on the table, anything like that, it's going to be so beautiful, and it's going to save you a lot of money. We have reached tip number 6 and my final tip, and this is to use those around you. And that is not to say that in a bad way at all. Please hear me out. I'm not saying like use people at all, but people do reach out and say, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Hey, I have decor, my mom does this. Hey, I have a lot of decor I used to decorate for parties. I've had multiple people tell me that, and honestly, I would forget about it. But use those people, because they genuinely want to give you the things that are sitting in their shed, and it's going to save you so much money for things like candles, for vases, anything like that. So use those people around you. Don't neglect it. Don't think that you're being rude to them. I sometimes think that. I'm like, I don't want to bother people, but they've literally told you, like, ask me if you need anything. Take them up on that. It usually does make them super happy to do that. All right, guys, that is my 6 tips today on how to budget for your wedding. Like I said, we're down to the line, so I've kind of been through it all, and so I can kind of tell you those areas that has helped me, and I hope it helps you so you guys can have a budget-friendly wedding. I want to say, don't neglect the things that you guys want in your wedding. There's a lot of ways to create and have a beautiful wedding, the wedding of your dreams, not on a crazy budget. You really don't have to have like an immense amount of money. They're expensive, don't get me wrong, but you can do a lot of things to make it possible, trust me. If you have any more questions, if you're in this situation, please don't hesitate. Comment below. I would love to help you and give you more information. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It supports me so much. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss when my future videos do come out. This has been so fun. It is almost wedding time, so I guess if I do post another video, it might be of the wedding or a honeymoon, which would be really fun. But thank you guys for letting me share a little bit here. Bye!